The family and friends of Ed Corns are searching for the truth after his sudden and unexplained death.
There was a knock on the door. They said, "We found your son dead in a hotel."
It was like just a crushing weight on me that he was really gone.
But what really happened to Ed that night? And did the Metropolitan Police botch their attempt to find out?
All the evidence was lost.
What do you believe that the officers focused in on?
They focused in on him being gay. They were homophobic. The funniest, sweetest human being I've ever known.
What do you miss most about him?
I miss talking to him. Yeah, he was like my best friend as well.
Just the most loyal best friend that you could ever ask for. My honorary brother, somebody I've loved and will always continue to love for the rest of my life.
Ed Corns was 19, a gay student just days into a new life at university. 2 days after he arrived in October 2021, he was dead.
He got there on the Monday and he was dead on the Wednesday morning. About 4 o'clock there was a knock on the door, and they were two detectives from the Met Police, and they said, "We found your son dead in a hotel in the centre of town."
For Miriam and Ed's best friend since childhood, Sam, the shock was overwhelming.
I just remember letting out this scream. It was like just a crushing weight on me that he was really gone.
Despair and disbelief, and the worst thing that could possibly happen had happened. Yeah.
But how Ed ended up dead in a hotel is still steeped in mystery, because what followed, his family say, was a police investigation riddled with failures and shaped by institutional homophobia at Britain's biggest police force. An internal review later found 27 failings.
They treated us appallingly. They had no cause of death, and they refused to interview his friends, so they also had no idea who Ed was.
What do you believe that the officers focused in on?
They focused in on him being gay and whether he took drugs, his lifestyle and sexuality.
Ed's body was found in the basement room of this hotel in King's Cross in central London, 5 minutes from his halls of residence. Other students said he was very drunk that night. According to the inquest into his death, Ed left his halls in the early hours and bumped into Matthew Butler, a man he'd never met before, who took him to a nearby hotel room. Inside, another man, Ian Casimir. Hours later, Ed Corns was dead. His inquest heard he was found with 36 cuts and injuries and with high levels of the drug GHB. Butler and Casimir were arrested on suspicion of murder and then released without charge. We couldn't reach them for comment. Miriam is accusing the Metropolitan Police of a deeply flawed investigation. She says key witnesses were never interviewed and vital evidence lost, including CCTV and blood samples.
All the evidence was lost 5 days after he died. Still very much a murder inquiry at that point. And then the rest of the evidence went from a locked evidence room 3 months later. And this is glasses, mugs, sheets, towels, contents of a bin, a lampshade with a strange red stain on it.
She also believes police failed to properly examine one crucial line of inquiry, whether Ed was capable of consenting to taking drugs.
Do you believe that issue around consent was ever fully examined by the Metropolitan Police?
They certainly didn't, because from the beginning I was saying, how could he consent? And they just said, well, he took drugs. And I said, but you've got all this evidence saying he was too drunk in the first place.
And what do you make of the fact that they didn't fully explore this line of inquiry?
There certainly is an element of homophobia. You almost saw them like, well, he got what he deserved attitude at that point.
The homophobia was there from the very beginning. In the police interviews, the ones that I have sat in, they've completely just kept going back to his lifestyle and what he was like, and the fact that he was gay. Anything that didn't fit that narrative was just completely discounted.
Sam and Miriam say police assumed Ed died from a self-administered overdose of chemsex drugs. Just 9 days after his death, the police downgraded his case and transferred it to local CID as an unexplained death.
How does that leave you feeling?
Very disgusted, very angry, deeply upset.
And then, Miriam says, there were the comments made during police interviews.
Ed was a rent boy. All gay men take trays of drugs, smuggle young boys in through fire escapes, and with man-on-man sex, anything can happen. They were homophobic.
When you heard those comments being made, what did you think?
My blood was boiling with rage. It was just completely, I can't believe that another human would have those opinions of gay people, let alone a police officer who is supposed to be protecting all of us.
The Met has now acknowledged those comments were made by an officer and are apologising for the upset caused to the family. For Miriam, Ed's case echoes the Stephen Port murders, where assumptions about sexuality proved deadly. Police failures that allowed a serial killer to murder 4 young gay men.
Well, this is the complaint I put through to the Professional Standards Department at the Met Police.
Miriam lodged multiple complaints with the police and its watchdog. Each time, the Met said its investigation was acceptable. But the watchdog ordered a serious case review, which found 27 failings. Miriam says she's only been told about 1.
There's 26 failings that I have never heard about. They do highlight the CCTV being lost.
Have you ever seen the full review?
No.
Have you asked to see it?
I've asked for it several times.
Why do you think they're not releasing it to you?
Well, I'm assuming they're worse than losing all the evidence.
How are we supposed to know what happened if we don't have information of all the failings, or at least put together how this has all gone so terribly wrong?
And this is him on his birthday with Sam.
Sam and Miriam want a different police force to reopen the case and a fresh inquest.
Do you have faith in the Metropolitan Police?
None whatsoever. I'm almost scared of them, really.
I certainly have absolutely no faith in the police force. It's cost me any faith in this country.
In a statement, the Metropolitan Police said, "It's difficult to hear how the handling of our investigation into Edward's death has added to the family's pain during this painful time. The extensive investigation, which was subsequently reviewed, ruled out third-party involvement in Edward's death, and this conclusion was later reinforced at the inquest. But we accept that aspects of the way in which the case was handled did not meet the high standards we expect. While this did not affect the outcome of the investigation, we apologise to Edward's family and friends for any further distress this caused." 4 years on, though, Miriam says she is haunted by how and why Ed died, and by what she says is the police's failure to properly investigate his death. Sejal Karia, ITV News.